share the link on Facebook. I'm going to share the link on Twitter. And I'm going to alert my moderating team that I have begun, and it's time for the No Limit stream. Hello, everyone. Greetings, Amy. I do not have to alert my moderator team. That is a sign of a good moderator there, straight away. 1 minute before I even scheduled to begin. I'm good, Amy. I was going for a walk back home from Bromley today, and I decided to climb a tree for some reason, and I got stuck getting down from the tree, and I had to jump, and I fell down and slightly hurt myself. I'm okay. I just sprained some stuff. No, it wasn't too bad. How are you doing, Amy? You good? With the banhammer of justice. That's what I give to my moderators. And I always forget about the 1 minute lag. Amy says, smiley face, point, got your back, Rob. Yes. Like that. Yes. Alright, this game we're playing today is called Super Flight, and it is a game where you are not flying, you are falling with style. Amy says, why did you do that? Oh no, I hope you're okay. I just did it because I wanted to climb the tree and read a book in the tree. And I got on the branch and I was like, this isn't as comfortable as it looks. And then I was like, I decided to abandon the tree, and I was slipping because I thought I've got to jump, and I hurt myself. Amy says, I'm good, thank you. Been a busy day. Oh man, that's you're going to get to relax now because this game is quite relaxing. Although it can be quite relaxing, it can be quite stressful, but I'd recommend a nice cup of tea after a stressful day. This is my Sonic cup of tea, hog-sized Sonic. It's good. So this is a game where you're not flying, you're falling with style, and I can't play it properly at all. It's not as unforgiving as the other game I was playing, but it's a bit of a tough one. And for today as well, have I just gone into it? Gone straight into it. Look how, so you got to fly through the air in this game. And yeah, you could crash and die very easily in here. Hold on a second though, because I want to, oops, I pressed it again. So the levels in this game are like randomly generated, and you just have to fly and survive basically and get a high enough score. I've had some trouble getting a high score in this game though, because it's very easy to die. 1,465. Hold on a second. I promised today that I was going to get some music. I was going to get some music playing. So let's hear some more of Horizon. This is another one. It's a chill wave mix by someone called Asphenic, which I will, if I remember to put the details on the YouTube when I do it. Let's play it. How does this sound? Is it too loud? Let's check the audio. Amy, you are my audio expert. Please let me know how it sounds once the music starts. Can you hear my voice? How does it sound? Let me up my vocal level a bit. I found this thing, the little cover for my microphone, so it doesn't sound as harsh when I breathe now. Well, I shouldn't. Let's move the camera a bit as well. Production values. How does that sound? Can you hear me speaking? Does it permit? I'll get the game started. So I don't think it lets me go from screen to screen once I put the game on. Maybe if I turn the music down a tad. Because this should make the experience a bit more relaxing. In fact, let me check as well on Twitch. You can hear me twice. No, that doesn't work. Okay, let's see. I think if I turn it down like this, it should be okay. Let's start the game. I'm gonna chill today. It's a chill stream. Oh, it seems you can have the game open and check the other screen at the same time. Just go move the mouse. Okay. So we're falling through the air. Down makes you go up, up makes you go down. I get really confused with these kind of controls. Whenever I'm playing an FPS with a controller or playing any kind of game where you have to fly, I have no clue what I'm doing. One thing I love about this game though is all the levels are just made by the game. They're procedurally generated. So you go into a new area, you're going into a completely new level. And it's cool. It's just chilling through the game, and I'm trying my best to survive at the moment. So I'm not really doing any amazing stunts. Not just yet. But once I get good at it, I will be. I was practicing for like 20 minutes before I started the stream, and I was just dying all over the place. Let's see if I can go through this hole. Nope, I can't. John says, I'm here, I'll be dipping in and out tonight. No problem, John. You're, thanks for tuning in despite being at work. It's awesome. As expected of my moderators. My moderating team is the greatest team on earth. Brofist. I just died. What I love is the camera shows you where you've been. So I played this game because it was recommended by my favourite video game person, Tim Rogers, who I'm a big fan of. He's my hero. And he made this game look really cool. So let's keep going. I promised this game would be a bit less stressful than the other one. I don't know. It depends on what you think of heights, I guess. So let's go through here. Oh, what a jump. Was that 6,000 points in one? Okay, that was a brave move there, jumping through that hole. I got some achievements, yes! What achievements did I get? I got a beginner achievement. Alright, let's see. Can I go through... No, I can't go into this area yet, because it made me go to the new stage. Let's see. Whoa! This game rules! I love it! So this is a lot more forgiving and less punishing than Bennett Foddy's game. Oh, 8,767. Let's see if I can get 10,000. So you gotta be careful not to fall too fast. But the physics in this game are incredible. I don't know much about physics or how they work, but I assume this is how you would move if you were falling in real life. Let's see, I was playing a lot of getting over it this weekend, and I think I'm getting a bit better at that. But I don't want to just play the same game all the time like I was doing with Sonic CD. That was like the only game I played for some time. I mean, this game is really exhilarating. It's awesome. It's the kind of thing I could just play for hours. It would be incredible to play this in a certain state of being. You know what I'm talking about, possibly. There's this medicine I used to have when I had a cold, no other time, in Japan, that had a really heavy amount of codeine in it. And I would have that to go to work, and I would make no sense. I was teaching English at the time, and my lessons were just utterly ridiculous because I was on this cold medicine. Like, I remember one of the things I said, like, there was this guy, he was like 50 or so, and he was, dead there. He was like really afraid of spiders and clowns. And I combined both of those things in an example. It was nuts. It wasn't very nice. Don't take medicine that has codeine in it. Although that would probably make this game into a really like soulful experience. I'm not doing so well. I'm not taking as many risks as I did before. I love this level though. It looks like I'm inside a giant watermelon. Whoa. And I just got killed by it. See, the less risks you take, the lower the score you get. But it's like one of those things. Does your score really matter? It does to you when you're playing this. I find I'm really caring about my score for some reason. I mean, it means nothing. But it's like, I'm the kind of person who counts my score when I play Mario Brothers or a Sonic game. I get really annoyed in the Sonic game when I get game over and I have to use continue, and my score resets itself. There we go. I should have got a better score for going through that hole. That was daring. Whoa. So since you're flying through the air, sometimes it will make you go up or down, depending on where the wind is going. Keep getting game over. I do suck at this game, but it's an incredible game. Let's fly through. I'm probably going to be taking quite a few breaks during this game, so feel free to talk about anything in the chat. Don't worry, I won't let the chat kill me like I did a second ago. Whoa. Yes, it goes so well with the music. I love it. Let's try and just dive straight in and see what happens. Can I get out of this? Let's see if I can go through. Oh, just missed it. Just clipped it. So I don't know if this is less or more stressful than getting over it. What do you think? Down there. Am I going to a new area? I am. I'm getting a bit bored of that level. Whoa! What's this place? It looks like the inside of a Jaffa cake. If you removed all of the orange stuff. Oh, I tell you, I love Jaffa cakes. I remember when I was in Japan and my friend came to visit me and brought me some Jaffa cakes, and they were gone in like 2 seconds with my Japanese mates. Had never seen Jaffa cakes before, and when they discovered them, it blew their minds. Oh. It was kind of like the discovery of Mr. Rogers. You know, there's that PBS TV show for children. If you don't know Mr. Rogers, YouTube him, you're in for a real good time. And that hypnotized native residents of Japan because, well, his voice was so hypnotic, people would just fall asleep listening to it. My buddy, a few houses down, would just, after a night of drinking, we would end up watching Mr. Rogers, all of us, me and my friends. And my Japanese friend would just fall asleep straight away because Mr. Rogers' intonation was just something he wasn't used to. Especially since, 4,000. Especially since I'm quite a loud guy, and my intonation is very energetic, and Mr. Rogers is just so slow the way he speaks. He speaks like this. Hello, everybody. I can't do it. It's too chill for me. Whoa. I'm doing really. I'm enjoying sucking at this game. It goes so well with music though. It's the kind of game where you can just zone out and forget what you're doing and just chill out. It's good. I'm kind of notorious for having trouble relaxing. I mean, I found meditation is a good way to relax. I've also found that hot springs are a good way to relax, but I don't live in Japan anymore, so I can't access the hot spring. So now if I want to relax, I could meditate, I guess, or read a book. But this is a new outlet for relaxing, and it makes me happy to discover a new way of chilling out. Just chilling out is something that's quite alien to me. We're going down to the next part of the level. Whoa! Now this looks like the orange part of the Jaffa cake. I'm glad I'm not dying now. It's good to be alive in this game. In general. Okay, let's see if we can take a few risks here. Oh, that was risky. It's dangerous. This game is a bit abstract and hard to comment on while I'm playing. So it's a challenge to my streaming repertoire. And I like a challenge. What's here? Going to a new part of the level. Well, that was close, I nearly died. So this looks like a Minecraft. I can't go too high. Oh, I died. I didn't get a particularly high score then, but I did play for quite a long time. So I count the length of time not dying as a success. Although the parameters of the game may think differently. Scoring parameter. Oh, dead. Are we enjoying the music? I hope it's not too loud. That's my one fear. That the music is too loud. Oh. Maybe I'll turn it down a tad. How do I do this? I go press the window button. I'll turn it down a tad. Let's go back to the game. Let's go to how many viewers do we have today? We have quite a few viewers. Hello everyone, don't be afraid to raise your voices because although you can't see the chat window, it's still there in your hearts and in my second screen. I can't go back to having one screen after being a two-screen boy. I love having two screens. Whoa. Oh. That's a quality crash there. It's one of those games that crashing is just as fun as not crashing. There's something satisfying about it. Like, it kind of takes the annoyance away. I can't get salty dying in this game. So it just looks so funny when your character just breaks into blocks. So looking on Steam, apparently this game was made by a small team of 3 students. I'm really impressed by that. Like, I mean, granted, it doesn't look like a AAA game, but the quality is really high. It looks great. And the movement is so smooth. I mean, it definitely, gameplay-wise, the falling really reminds me of the Just Cause games, which are really fun ways of causing chaos. Ooh, there we go. Let me know how we're enjoying this. If you get bored of this game, I'd be happy to go back to Bennett Body or play something else. Whoa. Okay, let's watch out for this. I'm going to try and play a bit better now. You can only really use the arrow keys or the ASDF keys in this game. So it's a bit alien to me, the method of control. I mean, it's going for the simplest controls possible, and it's very elegant the way it does that. It just confuses me. So I like complicated stuff. I can't lie, I love complicated stuff. Whenever I was planning stuff for lessons at school when I used to work there, I'd always do it in the most difficult way possible for myself. I don't know why. For example, I'd print out photocopies and cut them out so they're the right size when I could just put all the questions on the board. Like, other teachers used to joke and they were like, "Oh, Robert, you love to make your life difficult." Yes, I do. But so when it comes to things that have elegant, simple systems, they're kind of outside of my comfort zone, strangely enough. Got a good score then, about 5,000. It's usually, it's the kind of the opposite to most people, because most people would prefer something to be sensible and to have a common sense approach, whereas common sense is not my thing. I'm a sociology major, we don't like common sense. Unless you are Weber, he likes common sense. That was a sociology joke. I loved it. Whoa! Okay. I'm not paying attention to my score anymore. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. Let's just see how long I can survive for. I think we'll work out getting a score later. You basically score based on how daring you are, how close you are to objects. So let's work this out, how long it takes you to get to the bottom. What's the minimum amount of movement you can do? So Tim Rogers said in his review, this game kind of feels like a lucid dream. I agree. It's interesting though, because if you actually want to induce a lucid dream, the perfect game for that I find is Fallout 3. because the movement in that really feels like the way you move in a dream. Now, I'm not drinking alcohol at the moment, but when I used to drink beer, I'd have a few beers and play Fallout 3, and that is the most... well, that's the easiest way to induce a lucid dream, I think. Oh, this place looks beautiful. Okay, so I guess the more stages you go to, the faster you start to go, because you're at different levels. Oh, ouch. That was a terrible score. What I like is it gives you a chance to redo things. Like, lots of chances. This whole game is just one big redo. If I have any lucid dreams, I'll let you know next time I stream. This isn't a very lucid stream, is it? Oh, it's very lucid. I haven't had any cough medicine, like the kind I was talking about at the beginning of the show. That is called what's the name of it? Buron. If you're ever in Japan and you have a cough, or maybe you don't have a cough and you're interested in trying this, I'd recommend it. Buron. It's like 1,000 yen. Me and my friend were really nervous about getting it from the pharmacy. I'll be honest, actually. In the night before I left my apartment, I had a whole bottle of this medicine, just out of interest of having a bizarre experience, and I don't recommend that at all, because the next day my manager had to come to supervise me clearing out the apartment, and it was such a mess. My floor, I thought I'd cleaned everything, but obviously being high on this cough medicine, I barely cleaned anything, and I'd done a terrible job of it. So what happened was, I had lots of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and coins on the floor of the attic area of my apartment. Now, the attic area is basically just slightly above your living room in Japan. You have to climb a ladder. Too much codeine.jpg. I can't see the JPEG. I'll check it in a moment once I died. But yeah, so I had loads of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and 1 yen coins on the floor. And the manager was like, really upset me at the time, because like I was out of my mind. It was quite an emotional day. And he was like, what are these on the floor? You have too much mess. And I said, look, mate. I actually called my manager mate. And I was like, look, mate, can you just let this one slide? And he said, absolutely not. It's not. Oh, the music fits with the game so well. It does, Amy. I think the music fits perfectly. What I love about this game is it has no music at all, and you have to just use your own soundtrack. It has some really good wind sounds, but I've kind of turned them off because they were distracting me slightly. I find this game is at its best when you just turn off the sounds and enjoy some nice music. And again, this is like a chill compilation I found on the YouTube. I can't remember the name of it, but the person is called Asphenic, I think. Oh, I'm not getting any points here, but I'm having a good time falling with style. Too much codeine.jpg would be an excellent picture. I'd love to see what it looks like. But yeah, after that I decided, well, I couldn't really have the medicine again. Just can't import it from Japan. It's very illegal to import. But yeah, I decided next time I go to Japan, I'm probably going to hold off from that medicine. Probably just do the sensible thing and get someone to cover for my job if I get sick. Not that I would. I don't think I'll be working in Japan for at least a few years. Whoa, that was a really high score. I don't know why. Whoa. But yeah, I love this game. You could put any music to it and just chill out. As I say, this game is like, well, as it says on the not the box, but on the page for this game, you basically get to experience the joy of flight for less than the price of a coffee. It's like £2.30 for this game. It's definitely worth it. I find that's one of the advantages to streaming with PC games. You can just pick up really cheap games on Steam. because it can get expensive. I know if you want a capture card, they could be like £100 or so, and although I can definitely spend that much money, I probably shouldn't at the moment until I get a new job. But that's gonna happen. It's a work in progress. But I love this game. It's just pure freedom. You don't need to think while you play it. And I'm definitely the kind of person who overthinks about like almost everything. Whoa! Apart from playing this game. So it's good. Like honestly, if I could see myself, if I'm ever unable to sleep, just firing up this game and just relaxing and falling asleep on my chair. It's a wooden chair, it's not very comfortable. Let's go flying. So I think I'm really proud of my last stream I did. I'm not proud of the fact it took me 12 minutes to order Chinese food, but I'm really proud of how it came out. I was enjoying that. My secret success parameter for that stream was I wanted something that someone could fall asleep listening to. And I tested it last night. I tested to see if I could fall asleep listening to it. And I did. I know it sounds a bit vain. I didn't do it out of vanity. I just did it as a test. So that's what I'm hoping for today. If I could get something that people can fall asleep to watching, that's my main goal. It's my Twitch goal at the moment. I've reached my first goal of getting an audience in the double digits. Yeah. Oh yeah. On the YouTube channel for the Final Fantasy one, I got 24 viewers. I'm happy with that. You gotta start somewhere. Whoa. I think as long as I can have a coherent schedule and I can have good time, that's all you need, really. As I say, I'm not in it to be famous, but I'm in it to have a no limits time. It's the no limits way. I heard something really interesting about Twitch the other day. There's like a church for people that play computer games. It's like an online church on Twitch. Now, I'm not religious myself, but that does sound interesting. Although I might not be religious, but I am weirdly superstitious about quite a lot of stuff. So I was reading this book in the Bromley Library about Feng Shui today, and I didn't understand any of it, but it looked so cool. Like all of the Feng Shui, like the flow of energy, is related to patterns based on dragons. I don't understand. It's very vague. I don't know whether it's because it uses the kanji and it uses a flow pattern similar to how the kanji looks, or if it's actually about the dragons and their elements. And maybe Feng Shui is different depending on which part of China you're looking at. It's interesting. I saw this other book as well, a paranormal book, which I thought I should probably not read if this might give me nightmares. I might go back to it. It was about paranormal hitchhikers, or no, phantom hitchhikers. That's the one. And I think a phantom hitchhiker is like a spirit that borrows your body. I don't know. I used to love listening to this supernatural talk show on talk radio. It's Howard Hughes, I think it was called, not to be confused with The Aviator. But I really enjoyed that. I think, I'm all into the idea that the universe has loads of weird stuff in it. That's why I was watching Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency on Netflix yesterday. Me and my younger brother Jonathan just watched like the whole series in a day, basically, and it's a really cool show where the main character is a like kind of a crap detective, like Doctor Who kind of guy who just goes somewhere and finds coincidences, and the coincidences help him solve cases, and it is brilliant. It's good. Like had perfect character development, had some really lovable characters, and it had a really diverse cast, which was really cool. Everyone in the cast, like all the members of the cast, were really interesting characters, and they were their own characters. No one seemed like a cardboard cutout. Everyone seemed to have a backstory, a compelling, a purpose, something they want, something they don't want in some cases, and a quirk or something that they feel is wrong with themselves. And I think it was a really good show. Honestly, I learned quite a lot from that show. It was very therapeutic to watch it. I'd recommend it to anyone. I would probably say it is... I say this about many things. It's one of the best TV shows I've ever seen. It took everything I liked about Doctor Who. So I used to be kind of into Doctor Who, and I got a bit bored of it. I'd like to go back to it. But this does everything I expected from Doctor Who, right? It's kind of like... It's a bit like Rick and Morty, but less cynical. It's not really a cynical show. It's very celebratory. It's based on a radio play and I guess books by Douglas Adams, who did The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I've read the first 2 books of that, and I love it. I love the movie as well because it had Mos Def playing, I can't remember his name, one of the characters. Ford Prefect, I think. And Mos Def is great. I'd like him to play me in the adaptation of my novel. That would be awesome. Because Mos Def is like a cool dude. Although, I don't know if he would look convincing as a 20-year-old. Well, I'm not a 20-year-old, but the me in my novel is. Well, I'm 28, so I guess that counts as a 20-year-old. Gonna be 29 soon. It's my birthday in October. I'm really hyped about it. Oh. If you know me, and you hang out with me, and you're watching this, expect some karaoke for my birthday. Let's see. It's funny, on the month of my birthday last year, I released my second draft of my novel to friends and family, and I'm on the 3rd draft now. I'm working on some of the feedback I've got from it. It's going to take me quite a while before I finish the 3rd draft. I've been taking things a bit too seriously and stressing myself out with it, so I'm going to take things a bit easy and finish it in my own pace. That was cool. I went through that very small gap there. Whoa. Like, this game, I'm going to say something that sounds like a criticism, but isn't. I love this game because it's just there. It's not too engrossing, but it's not boring either. Well, at least for me. It might be boring for the viewer. Good. I wonder what colour the next stage is going to be. I love those vaporwave colours. Perhaps I should put some vaporwave on. Whoa, you could die doing that? Hold on. Didn't know that. I thought I was going to go to the next level and it would just fade out like it has done. Oh, I could have gone through that. Oh. See, wait, you gotta pull up just in time to not hit the ground. I think I could probably get some good points. Too high. Amy says, I'll be there, but I can't sing. Lost my voice. Wink emoji. Nah, you have your voice. Trust. I might just get like a small karaoke booth. Well, not small, fairly big one, but just for a few people. Instead of going to Metropolis, because Metropolis is the karaoke bar in Bromley, and as much as I love it, you never get a chance to sing. It's kind of for regulars only. I was really upset last time that I only got to do a song at the very end, despite me saying it was my birthday. Respect the birthday. I mean, I might have not paid to have my birthday there, but come on. But I did sing "Dreams, You Make My Dreams Come True" by Hall & Oates, which is really good. I had Owen and Callum up on stage 2 for Moral Sport, even though they didn't know the words, which is great. Oh, let's see if I can make that. Oh, I can't make that. It's gonna rule. It'll be a grand celebration. It's interesting this year because I normally when I can drink alcohol, I just say gather at a pub. I'd probably say gather at a pub again because I can just have green tea there. But I think I might choose a cafe this time or something. I haven't drank any alcohol for 3 months, and it's for medical reasons. But I'm really happy to not be drinking at the moment. I think it's definitely made me. It's I love good stuff. They saved the best for last. Yes, the best for last was me. Correct. Oh, thanks for that. It was so fun though. But Metropolis would be greatly improved if they had Japanese songs, because I was singing at Hyper Japan. I was doing songs in Japanese. I got featured on the website. Not because my singing was particularly good, but I put a lot of energy into it. And that's. I feel like it's a lot easier to put a lot of energy into something that's much more niche, and you have a great love for. Because, I mean, I do like old songs, but it's like old songs in Japanese. You gotta work, it takes work to perform them. Not saying I'm particularly great at them, but I can make it entertaining. Oh, I love this track. So good. I'm thinking of some Macintosh Plus later. I was playing it obnoxiously loud last time I streamed, but now I've fixed the audio levels. Whoa! I love this stage though, it just looks beautiful. The colours, it looks like Sonic CD colours. There's like the second stage, Marble Madness. Kind of has this colour scheme to it. Whoa, the camera kind of messed up there. I'm not blaming my tools. I kind of am. Plays with controller as well. Don't know if I do better with controller, but I don't mind how well I do. Just chilling today. I don't know if anyone has streamed this game. I think it's probably been streamed by like experts. Expert I am not. Whoa, this looks like Green Hill Zone in Sonic. Oh, whoa. Let's get a feel for this stage. See how low can I go. Is there anything interesting on the way? Nope. There is. I was considering getting the game No Man's Sky because there's not really. It's quite a chill game and you're exploring space. There's not much gameplay in it from the looks of it, but it looks like I might enjoy it. The less gameplay, the better. I like boring stuff. Oh, what's this stage? Having a chill time. I love it. Let's see what happens when I go through here. Oh, this level's got a bit more stuff to explore. Whoa. Whoa! This looks incredible. This is the Vaporwave stage. This looks like I'm in the cover for Macintosh Plus. Macintosh Plus, makers of my favorite Vaporwave album. Well, it's not my favorite, actually. My favorite Vaporwave album is Groceries, Yes We're Open, which is a supermarket themed piece of music. I love it. It's great. The experience of being in a supermarket is one of my favorite things, no matter where I am in the world. So it's great. There is some music that replicates the experience. And when I say music, it's mostly like found footage and noise, real life sound effects. It's awesome. So it's kind of like it feels like I'm dreaming. This game is a dream. It's pleasant. Usually my dreams have some kind of narrative to them though, because I guess because I'm a writer. Which, although my dreams are very visual, they've got a kind of literary feel to them. Not that the plots in the dreams make sense. As Amy says, agreed, supermarkets are cool. They are great. I mean, I love the Seiyu supermarket in Japan so much that I made a playlist of the music they play in there. I'd just like to imagine I'm in the supermarket in Japan. So I have some good memories of that. I remember me and my friend Scott being really drunk and holding oranges and dropping them on the floor and just cracking up when the staff looked at us. Ah! I haven't died for a while. That's like jinx. I don't want to go through one of those teleporters, because that ends the stage early. Not that the stage really matters that much, being procedurally generated. I'm not really taking so many risks here. Until now, 7,665. I'm still trying to get to 10,000. This stage looks great too. So my neighbors were having a party the other day and they're playing lots of music, like soul music. And I was like, hold on a second, my neighbors are playing vaporwave music that's not slowed down or distorted. And I was like, oh wait, that's just regular music, isn't it? Oh, wow. It's all good. Regular music, vaporwave music, it's all music. 4,000. Oh. Let's just do a crazy playthrough of this stuff. Oh, too crazy. Too jazzy. Whoa. And going down further and further into the abyss. Yeah, tonight I'm going to start season 2 of Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency because it's such a great show. I've heard it's not going to ever get a season 3, but I don't care. There's no reason to not enjoy season 2. You never know. It happened for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It could happen for Dirk Gently. Luckily, it happened to Brooklyn Nine-Nine before I started watching it. And then my younger brother recommended it to me before it got, well, when the series was renewed, because he loves it. I was really happy to discover it. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Such a good show. It's so fun. All of the characters in it are really lovable. It's the same as Dirk Gently, actually. I like shows that care for their characters. That's why I really like the TV show Peep Show, originally, like, because the characters did grow, and you did kind of sympathize with them sometimes, but then every few seasons they would just do something horrible to the characters and act like they didn't care about them at all. I don't know, I found it a bit difficult to watch sometimes. Back on the Vaporwave stage. Oops. I don't think... I don't know, I think playing Getting Over It has cured me of any salt in games, so I'm definitely not getting salty from this yet. Maybe if I get like 100,000 and then fail really easily, that'll get me salty. There are better things to get mad about than a game. No offense to people that get salty who are watching this on YouTube later. I really hope that people can like think if they have trouble sleeping, they can go to this and put it on and try and sleep. It's the dream. What's down here? Oh, seem to get the best points when I do a really high dive and then escape just in time. Whoa. $29 points. What a ripper. I love that cash register noise it makes. Alright, let's try with my left hand now. I've been playing with my right hand. Whoa. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. It's weird playing with your left hand after you're used to playing with your right hand. I might have to switch on a light in a moment. But let's try and do it while playing. There we go. Close proximity to the light switch. That's what it's all about. Okay, let's see. Yeah, if anyone wants to watch Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, it's on Netflix. Have a real good time with it. And I don't want to spoil any of it, but it's an extremely weird show. It's not really... It's like a detective show, Doctor Who. But way better than you'd expect. I don't even know. I wouldn't even say it's a detective show at all, actually. It's... Whoa, am I going downwards or across? Really messes with perspective. Oh. Okay. How are we doing for audience today? Nice, got a fair few viewers. Let's check. Alright, one viewer. Nice. Whatever, I'm having fun. Let's keep going. Might maybe do a bit more Getting Over It in a moment, so I've been playing this for nearly an hour now. And I'm kind of addicted to that game. It's a bit difficult to talk while playing this one, I'll be honest. There are more when you click. Oh, really? Okay. That's so 5 viewers. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. Alright, 5 viewers. Good. Thank you, Amy. As expected of the best moderator. It permits. Now let's keep going. I can smell an odd smell at home. It smells like what's it? I don't know. It might be microwave food. I've already eaten, so I can't do a mukbang today. I'm sorry. I had take leftover Indian food. I did have a bueno bar, but I ate it. Whoa! This game's very relaxing. Some of you might be wondering why I'm not playing Magic Online on stream anymore. I just feel like Magic Online makes playing Magic the Gathering into kind of digital labor. It makes it feel like work, and I don't like that. It makes it less fun, and it kind of stops you from playing for fun and makes you really want to win because there's not much interaction on it. I just like it just makes me feel like I'm doing something compulsive. It feels like gambling. So I've still got some money to buy cards in it and to gamble with, but I just don't want to play it anymore. I think I haven't played Magic in a while actually, but it's much more rewarding playing with a cube or drafting some packs with friends in real life. Love an opportunity to play Magic with the cube. Whoa, this is stalactites or stalagmites. Okay. I think I'm gonna play this for another 10 minutes and then do a bit more getting over it, so I'm hooked. I miss the thrill and the anxiety of getting over it. But this is quite a thrilling experience too. It's a bit more of a sanitized experience. Until that happens. Actually, I could do that, or I could read the first chapter of the third draft of my novel. How would people feel about that? Oh. Or I could read an extract from my new project I'm writing, which isn't very... A lot of stuff in that I'm not very comfortable reading out loud. It's a weird book. I do feel like, because I was reading 150 Life Lessons to my mum in the car on the way to work when I used to work at the school, and it was good. It was good fun reading it. And I've memorized quite a bit of it now, so I can probably read it all off by heart. For those of you who would rather not venture into the unhallowed halls of North Bromley, the unhallowed grounds of North Bromley, the great town of Bromley would, yeah, I could read it. I went to Bromley today. I loved it. It's a great place. I actually went to most of the places from my novel today. Just like for the sake of it. I went to read a book in the park and eat Greg's. It's a good time. And the library, of course, soon to be named the Robert Rostand Memorial Library, 100 years after my death. I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to that because it would be 100 years after my death. I don't want to die. Alright, let's see. Ooh. So my latest novel project I'm working on, I really wanted it to be this kind of postmodern critique of society, and it's taking itself a bit too seriously. There are loads of parts I really like in it, but it was kind of making me a bit sad to write at times. So I want to kind of inject a bit more humor to it. So it's a good thing I've been reading Good Omens, and I've been watching like Dirk Gently. I kind of want to add a bit more of humor and like kindness to it. It's very cynical. I was in a bit of a dark place when I started writing it, and now I'm starting to become go to a bit of a lighter place. I kind of want to reflect that in this story. But my first novel is very light-hearted and very fun. Well, it's actually my second novel. I wrote a novel a while, like when I first started. I've written a first draft that is kind of like, it just feels like an anime. Like it's got proper anime fight scenes in it, and I was trying a bit too hard with that one. It's something I need to go back to in like 10 years to rewrite. Considering it though. I've got another 5 years before I go back to that, before 10 years have passed. Okay, let's watch out for this. Try and see if this doesn't kill me. Oh, it killed me! Nice. Okay, I'll do one more round and then I think it's story time. And I might go back to this after that. So I've got the first 2 chapters edited quite nicely. It's going to be quite a while before I edit the rest, so I figure I might as well just read it. So I'll have be a long time before I can read the rest of the book on stream, I think. I'll try one more time. I'm just I feel like the second draft is okay, but it could be a lot better. There are a lot of improvements to make. I was really fortunate that my brother's fiance Matilda gave me loads of really good advice for the novel, and it's been invaluable. It's been so useful because my notes for my second draft are just chicken scratch. They're helpful sometimes, but they just don't make no sense. So it's good to see notes that are very concise and make sense, and that offer constructive criticism, but at the same time they offer like a lot of praise as well. It's good. Some good quality editing there. I bet if I ever do try to publish it and I get an editor, the editor's going to be like, whoa, you've had one heck of an editor already. At least I hope so. I know that free drafts is actually like still just scratching the surface in the professional world. I'm thinking my new novel I'm writing there, I might publish it in chunks in the Kindle store. Just gotta work at it to make it a bit funnier. A bit more wholesome of the story. Ooh. The thing about my new story is, although I do want it to critique society, I don't want it to be cynical. I want it to celebrate a lot of things in modern society as well. So a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things in modern society. Wouldn't have streaming or the internet or any of these things if it weren't for the postmodern revolution. Whoa. This game always, not always, I've only played it for like a day, but it's managed to make me have like feel good every time I've played around. Just love how it looks as well. It's gorgeous. I like that it's started to get a bit cooler now in England. Oh, clicked away there. I was checking my viewers. I was safe though. Oops. Clicked off there. Yeah, I think that's enough of this game. It's time for story time. Story time. What's the story? No Limits. Well, let me tell you, it's a story I like to call 150 Life Lessons. Let's go to my Google Drive. You cannot see it. Shall I make the text bigger? Yes, let's do this. What? Actually, no. Here's what I'm going to do. You don't need to see the text. You don't need to see the text at all. Check this out. This cool guy. Let's just put me here. Let's stretch this out. There we go. Let's do this. All right. I'm going to read to you my novel. Let's get started. 150 Life Lessons, Part 1, Chapter 1. It's weird looking at myself speaking. For those who would rather not venture into the unhallowed grounds of the north side of town, Bromley would appear to be the kind of generic, quaint high street town where nothing out of the ordinary ever took place. I once thought the same thing. Simply walk at a brisk pace from Market Square towards the heart of the High Street, and within seconds you will be overwhelmed by a bizarre marvel of architecture, the garish yet elegant Bromley Central Library and Churchill Theatre. This chimeric abstraction of a building is set beside the lush greenery of the Churchill Gardens, the more popular of two public parks in Bromley. Inside the Bromley Central Library, half of the building, Arnold and I sat around a table overlooking the H.G. Wells display in the quiet study area. The display hadn't been changed in some time, as H.G. Wells was one of the few famous figures to ever hail from our beloved town. We decided to meet at the ungodly hour of 10 a.m. to study for our up-and-coming university exams. Little did I know that Arnold had actually expected to study. His study arsenal comprised of several gigantic physics and mathematics reference books, a flask full of acrid coffee, and an infinite supply of paper. My meagre study area comprised of nothing more than a single discarded sociology textbook and my technologically challenged cheap smartphone. So we're progressing through the story here. May I borrow a slice of paper? I said, leaning back on my chair. That. Sure, Arnold said. He passed me a sheet without looking away from his sacred texts for a single second. Studying was a skill I had always struggled to get behind. It wasn't surprising considering that I couldn't ride a bicycle until I was 17, and I didn't know how to kiss a girl until the tender age of 19. Here I was, 22 years old, unable to study for a second-year university exam. What am I doing? I thought. I'm a man of the world in a public library. I should be enjoying Joyce or Gaiman. Even trying to read Twilight would be better than this. It's what led to my first kiss, after all. That might not be a joke. We'll see. My mobile phone started drilling through the table with several intrusive vibrations. I picked it up and shot a sophisticated glance at my latest social media update before dropping my phone on the table and slumping on my chair. Good news? Oh no. Good news? Arnold said disdainfully. He put down his textbook and glared at me. Well, you know the girl I like? I said, adjusting my circular-framed glasses. Just to pause for a moment. I used to wear circular frame glasses. My character does. My character is definitely not me. Oh, not at all. Let's go back to it. I know her well enough by now, he said. We talk about her every time we go to the pub. It would appear that she's invited me to partake in an obscure kind of internet ritual, I said. Is that a bad thing? He said, staring at his half-eaten mess of a flapjack. I need to write a poem about the person that invited me to the event. This has to mean something. Maybe it means she likes poetry, Arnold said. He began to shuffle through his complex set of notes. I was certain that these notes outlined every hidden truth of our mysterious and complex universe. You might be reading into things a little. Maybe, I muttered. I should really be studying, shouldn't I? When was the French Revolution? Arnold said. He grinned. 1789, I said without a moment's hesitation. I'm going for a wander. I bolted out of my chair, abandoning my textbook and paper. In my mind, being invited to write a poem about the girl of your dreams was a meaningful, romantic gesture. That is, until I noticed that she had also invited all of her friends. Even if it was a meaningful gesture, what was I going to do about it? In chance meetings through mutual friends, I took little initiative. I was too shy, too neurotic to be able to ask her out on a date. Social media did nothing but remind me that I was trapped in the confines of my own anxious, desperate mind. I eventually returned to find a tableau of Arnold engaged in his studies. His demonic stare invoked a primal fear from within me as if I had entered a lion's den. I should at least pretend to study, I thought. I brushed away the mountain of books pertaining to relationship and dating advice I had picked up on my walk and picked up my sociology textbook instead. We left the library at around 6 that evening, determined to feast on pub food. I was satisfied to have completed a couple of pages of notes. Arnold, on the other hand, lamented his novella of revision notes. It was infuriating. Would have left much earlier if you didn't recite those yellow pages from the 70s or challenge me to so many games of Sands of Havoc, Arnold said with a bemused smile. My goblins sure owned your majors, I said. Think of chaos theory. As if I didn't have iced donuts or Lucozade for lunch, today could have taken a turn for the productive. We both laughed heartily. That reminds me, Arnold said. It's usually the case that if a conversation point reminds him of something, it is in no way related to the topic at hand. Arnold works in mysterious ways. I got a souvenir from Vietnam. It was the weirdest thing I could find. It would need to be quite the eldritch souvenir to weird me out, I said, hoping that the gift would terrify me as much as it amused me. You'll see when we get to the Critchmore, he said. Just pause for a moment. Critchmore is the name of the pub in the story. It's called the Critchmore Brompton. No relation to the Richmore Crompton, which is a pub in Bromley that I go to a lot. No, I want to see it now, I demanded. I thought you'd say that, he said. He detached his backpack and scurried through its labyrinthian contents until he produced a small mass of wrapping paper. He passed it to me. I carelessly tore the wrapping away, uncovering a small glass bottle filled with a dark amber liquid. Inside the bottle sat the corpse of an eyeless miniature cobra. The cheap yellow seal that covered the lid of the bottle told me that this was an evil object which must remain sealed forever. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen, I exclaimed, staring into the cobra's hollow eye sockets. What is it? It's a snake venom wine, he said. It should be safe to drink, but I'm not sure that you'd want to. Thanks, I said. I'm never going to drink it, but I love it. I'll keep it as a lucky charm. For all I know, it could save my life one day. Or end it, if I'm not careful. Chekhov's gun, Arnold said. The bottle exists. Therefore, it will eventually have to be used. Chekhov's gun must be fired. It wouldn't be much of a story if Chekhov's gun stayed in the study doing nothing, I said. Casually, I eyed the eyeless cobra. What's it called? Is it named after the bad guy in Karate Kid? I've never seen Karate Kid, Arnold said. He shrugged. I can't remember its Vietnamese name. Let's just call it Cobra Beer. A cheeky smile began to form on Arnold's once serious face. I like that, I said, grinning. Thanks, Arnold. You didn't have to get me a souvenir. We bumped fists in a ritual that was taken from many wasted years of American sitcoms and films. The Bro Fist. Bro Fist, we said in tandem. Study rivals become brothers in arms once more in search of a pint. Across the road from Bromley South Station, there exists a pub known by mortals as the Critchmore Rompton, a tavern that is revered far less than it is despised. The Critchmore Rompton is a hive of scum and villainy, disguised as a trendy pub, disguised as a traditional British tavern. It isn't the nicest pub in the world, but it is a pub. It's good enough. Despite the poor lighting, awkward seating arrangements, and uppity staff, my friends and I always find ourselves drawn to the Critchmore Rompton, in a manner similar to the way moths are drawn to flames. Despite its many, many flaws, it's not the worst pub in the world. You can buy the nectar of the gods, Erdinger, at just under £3. Erdinger is a refreshing beer, the perfect prelude to a night of debauchery. Begin the evening comfortably, end it covered in sick. This is the way of the Critchmore Rompton and its disciples. The pub has some other interesting features too. For example, the cracked blue tiles of the gentleman's restroom wall make for the perfect optical illusion if one is suitably inebriated. The bookshelves are stacked with obscure, euphemism-filled adventure stories from the 1960s and superfluous collections of Whitaker's Almanac. Arnold and I sat around an unnecessarily large table situated in perfect proximity between the bar and restroom. The table, littered with empty bottles of Erdinger, was drenched with puddles of beer. Listen, Arnold, I said, pointing the tip of my mostly empty bottle at him. It's not that of Montreal are a bad band, it's just that Hissing Fauna, You Are the Destroyer is so good, it makes the rest of their songs sound like crap. Blasphemy, Arnold said, taking an indignant sip of Erdinger. You told me that Satanic Panic in the Attic and Sunlandic Twins were fantastic. Don't get me started on how much you loved the Gay Parade. Destroyer is the best album ever made, I said, tightening my grip on the bottle. I've memorized all the lyrics and mastered the falsetto pitch necessary to sing along with the thing. It's more than a concept album. It's a way of life, my friend. It's more memorable, I'll give you that, Arnold said. He began to scratch away at the label of his bottle. How can we forget that he fell in love with the first cute girl he met, who would appreciate George Batal at the Swedish festival? We're quoting lyrics from the song here. It's a good album, check it out. But they discussed Story of the Eye. Oh, sorry. He doesn't get with her, you know. That's why he turns into Georgie Fruit later in the album and has an existential crisis, I said. I lowered my bottle, slamming its base against the table surface. But they discussed Story of the Eye, Arnold said, nursing the rest of his pint. The love project had so much potential. Again, quotes from the album. Check the album out, it's amazing. It had potential, but it didn't go anywhere. He chickened out, like I always do. Barnes sings No Death, No Ugly World. She can't die because she's already a memory. But who knows, I could just be overthinking things. I tore at the soggy paper curry club menu that was stuck to the table, effortlessly ripping away at its corners. You're definitely overthinking things, Arnold said, rescuing the menu from my clutches. Sometimes it's better to overthink things than to end up vomiting on the floor of the cab office after vomiting on the bus home, however. Affectionately, I punched Arnold in the arm. I'm not proud of that, I lied. Enough about me. You still haven't told me anything about your holiday. What did you do in Vietnam? I got on a few motorcycles, consumed many a 70p beer and drank a lot of tea, Arnold said, matter-of-factly. 70p for a beer, I said, salivating at the thought. Sounds like heaven, Arnold nodded. I also befriended an American named Mac, he said, blushing ever so slightly. He rides a motorcycle and makes balloon animals for a living. He's my hero. Let me guess, this Mac has a beard, ginger hair, glasses, and is slightly overweight. That's how he looks, Arnold said. How did you know? It's how I've pictured American men in books since I read The Dice Man. Have you got a picture? I have a picture at home, on my Mac, Arnold said with an aura of amusement. Gives you boner, doesn't it? I said flippantly. Arnold responded by connecting his index finger and thumb to produce the universal symbol and popular emoji for, I like that more than I should like that. As I drained the final drops of Erdinger, I noticed a lone figure with nothing but a laptop to keep himself company. The man typed in isolation and barely sipped at his mug of Guinness. Surely no one would go out of their way to even pretend to be productive in the Critchmore-Rompton of all places. Do you notice that guy over there? I asked Arnold in a conspicuous whisper. The one pretending to work on his laptop. He looks kind of lonely. I did. Arnold hesitated. Knowing full well what I was about to suggest, he ingested the final sips of his dying Erdinger to prepare himself for what would follow. We should invite him to join us, I said. I don't think so, Arnold said. Do not misunderstand, dear reader. Arnold is a kind man, he just knows that I am not. The facade of kindness is a vehicle for my curiosity, the fodder for my entertainment after 3 pints. I'm going to the toilet now, he said. Hopefully this madness will pass when I return. Ah, the optical illusion. How fun. Okay, so first chapter just sets the scene, introduces the characters. Nothing really happens in the first chapter, but I had a lot of fun writing it. Let's go into the second chapter. I'm going to try and do a few more voices as well. This is Raymond, I said, killing the lively atmosphere of the evening. The man greeted Arnold with a sorrowful expression, a sheepish nod. Hi, I'm Arnold. Nice to meet you. Arnold was barely half smiling. I hope I'm not intruding, Raymond murmured, looking down at the beer-stained table surface and sodden paper menus. Me too, Arnold said. He sat down and folded his arms. Nonsense, Raymond, I said warmly. Tell me, what brings you to the Critchmore-Rompton on this fine night? Marine biology, Raymond muttered. Arnold and I exchanged puzzled glances. The distant sound of a glass smashing was met with a wave of leery cheers. That sounds like an interesting job, Arnold said. We're students. I study physics and my friend majors in sociology. Students? Raymond snorted. We'll have jobs eventually. Well, he will at least, I said, pointing at Arnold with derision. Sorry, Raymond said. His head was so far down he was practically bowing at Arnold and I. It's just, my son was a student. Studied marine biology. He was the hope of the family. He wiped the sand from his tired eyes. But he just had to drop out and move in with his landlubber girlfriend. Probably wouldn't know the sea if she drowned in it. He could have been a marine biologist, the most sacred profession of the modern age, but he threw it all away. Now he's bound to become an alcoholic loner with no prospects before he knows it. He downed his entire pint of Guinness and slammed the mug onto the table. He's a lost cause. Arnold said nothing. He observed Raymond with a silenced astonishment. I'm sure he has his reasons, I said. Take it from someone who's already changed courses once. Uni can be quite stressful. Reasons? Raymond scoffed. Ha! Excuses, you mean? I'm going to get another Guinness. He stumbled towards the bar, abandoning his laptop onto the damp table. I could only hope that the laptop, with an engraved anchor logo etched into its cover, was waterproof. The screen highlighted a blog post detailing the importance of periodic tank maintenance in the winter season. Sorry, Arnold, I said. I've befriended a crazy person. I told myself the same thing when we started hanging out, Arnold said. You get used to it. Touche, I said, glancing at Raymond's incredibly dull blog post. What do we do now? Leave? Arnold said, finishing his pint. We can't leave. I've barely had 2 pints of Erdinger, I pleaded, conveniently forgetting that the recently consumed 3rd pint. Plus he left his laptop with us. He'd go mental if anything happened to it. It was often the case that Arnold would find a precise, empirical, and undoubtedly sensible solution to any problem. Maybe we should have another pint, he said. That's what I would normally suggest, I said, overtaken by a great thirst. I suppose another Erdinger wouldn't hurt. I couldn't find Raymond at the bar. All I could see was the usual crowd of elderly loners with shattered dreams and a few office workers lacking the time or willpower to travel to London for a night out. Romante, my friend from school, once informed me that old people know where it's at. This can be true sometimes, but not so much on a Thursday night at the Critchmore Rompton. I stand with a forced, cheerful smile and remember that this won't get you served so quickly in this particular pub. Content customers tend to spend less. What's your poison? The bar staff asked. He was the living image of the bartender, glorified and romanticized by old cartoons and black and white films, immaculately dressed, bow-tied and side-parted. He wore a sly, knowing expression. I'll have an Erdinger, please, I said without hesitation. He glided towards the bottle cooler without a single wasted moment and clutched an Erdinger. If you'll allow me to pour it, he said. I nodded. He produced a picturesque, perfect pint, unlike any I had seen before. I had previously considered Erdinger impossible to pour without losing half a glass to the frothy head. Such well-mannered, agile staff were rare in the Critchmore, if not the whole of Bromley. The man was an artisan. I handed him a fiver, which he refused with a noble sweep of the hand. It's on the house, old sport. I'm afraid I don't technically work at this establishment. Right, as if anyone so astute or polite would actually work at the Critchmore Rompton. Oh, I said. I scanned the bar. I've got a missing full stop in the T there. The rest of the staff were occupied, or at least pretending to be occupied. In that case, can I have another one for my friend? The barman merely winked before repeating the perfect pint process once more, and then handed me both glasses. Cheers, I said. I couldn't resist sipping from the divine chalice before me. I'm not complaining, but I was just wondering, why are you posing as a barman and letting me drink for free? Posing? He scoffed. Sir, I have been and always will be a barman until the day I die. He pointed to the golden name tag, which said which had J Barman engraved neatly onto its surface. May I ask what the J stands for? I said. You may, he said. Silence. Enough about me. I know a forced smile when I see one. You seem troubled, sir. If you'd take a seat, I'd be delighted to lend an ear. I sat down on an empty bar stool, a commodity which is hard to come by in regular circumstances at the Critchmore. I wouldn't say I was troubled. I took another sip of my perfect pint. If you look past the fact that I invited a crazy person to drink with my friend and I don't think that's going too well. Beyond that, a problem with a lady perhaps, unsure about one's future, dissatisfied with oneself. He said as if he had read this very novel. You're me from the future, aren't you? I shouted, animated. You've come to kill me and create an alternate future in which I don't ever become an ally of justice, haven't you? I was supposed to say that is definitely a Fate Stay Night reference. Back to the reading. No, sir, he said. He wiped the drops of beer I had spilt onto the counter. An experienced barman simply knows these things. Oh, I said, dejected. I was quite looking forward to fighting my future self. Not that I'm very good at fighting. Then again, I guess he wouldn't be very good at fighting either, in that case. People have a habit of wearing their hearts on their sleeves in the pub. Look around and you'll see every shade of disillusion imaginable, he said, pointing to the end of the bar with a Willy Wonka-esque outstretched palm. Take that elderly gentleman at the end of the bar, for example. He's worried about the fact his life will never be adapted into a Broadway musical. He's also dreadfully afraid of cats. How can you tell? Well, sir, he's been singing about his life for the past hour or so. Listen closely, it's quite disparaging. In the spring, of 52. I collapsed as one might do, of fright from those blasted tabby eyes. I'm now much older thanks to time and plenty wiser too, and safe from Kitty Poo at the pub. Sing it with me now at the pub with you. I've never really sung that part, so I guessed it. Tragic, really, Jay Barman said with a wry smile. If he only had the courage to sit through a single singing lesson, he wouldn't be in this mess. Maybe not Broadway or even Churchill Theatre, but I can see it becoming an iconic viral hit on the internet, I said. With a little auto-tune magic, that is. It's a shame you mentioned that, as he is also afraid of the internet. Jay Barman paused to wipe an empty pint glass. Cats are very popular on the internet these days, you see. Look, Mr. Barman, this is all very interesting, but I should be getting back to my friend. Want to get back to Arnold before Raymond does? Fear not, Raymond has at least 2 hours before his next, shall we say, episode. The man works like clockwork. Neurotic clockwork. This is getting weird, I said. I felt a sudden tightness in my chest. How do you know so much? What do you want from me? I merely want to help you, sir. What you need is life advice. I wish to inform you that there are at least 150 life lessons tailored towards curing the dissatisfaction of early to mid 20-year-olds. Will they get me laid? I mean, will they get me a girlfriend? More girlfriends than there are varieties of beer. Although I am well aware that you are, I quote, a one-man woman, he said. One-woman man, I protested. I took a long sip of my pint, hoping in doing so the redness of my cheeks would subside. Ah yes, I believe you were rather inebriated at the time. Regardless, I could be of some assistance. Alright, so you're going to teach me how to live a much better life for nothing in return, I said. Just like that? Now, sir, he chuckled, if I just gave out the life lessons for nothing, there would be no need for alcohol now, would there? He had a point there. You must prove yourself worthy of them first. Do I need to pick up an enchanted hammer from Asgard or something? I said flippantly. How would I go about proving myself worthy? With this, he handed me a scaled-down beer bottle of golden brown liquid. The label read Surreal Ale, barman's finest, and featured a rudimentary cartoon illustration of the barman himself, looking as mischievous as ever. Am I supposed to drink it? Jay Barman shrugged. I'm sure you'll know what to do when the opportunity presents itself. I tucked the bottle away in the breast pocket of my garish flannel shirt. Before I could say anything to the barman, a wreck of a man bumped into me. Sorry, I said instinctively. Oh, Raymond! I thought I'd lost you. Yes, he said meekly. Look, I'm sorry about before. I get a bit wound up sometimes. It's alright, mate. Let's get you back to the table, I said, against my better judgment. I turned to notice that Jay Barman had gone. Oh well, I thought. So much for a better life. Beers in hand, our triumphant return to the table was met with a wave from Arnold. Here you go, bro, I said, handing Arnold his ill-gotten pint. Owe you for the last 2. You owe me for the last 3, Arnold said with a knowing smile. He put his textbook down and reached for the sacred pint before him. This is great, Raymond said. Reminds me of when I had friends. An awkward silence lingered. Still standing, Raymond guzzled his pint of Guinness. Must be nice to be a student. Never got the chance to go to uni myself. School of life, innit? If you count living with constant crippling self-doubt as nice, then yes, it's very nice, Arnold said. Ha. What about all the casual sex? Raymond asked. I nearly spat out my drink. The only casual sex I'd had lately was with my hand. I can't say that my schedule was all that casual. I'm not afraid to read that out loud. Just saying, I wrote it. I'm going to read it. That's enough about us, I said to derail Raymond's perverse inquisition. What about you, Raymond? What do you do for a living? Are you a marine biologist? I'm between jobs, Raymond brooded, looking for help at the bottom of his empty mug of Guinness. A half-empty mug of Guinness. I used to drive a night bus, but I had a bad habit. Used to fall asleep at the wheel. At the wheel? Arnold said. I'm guessing you were fired. Oh heavens, no! Raymond said. He laughed awkwardly. I quit. I just decided I'd prefer to spend my nights in a bed. Had a lot more space to sleep since my wife left me. Nice double bed. No hydraulics or screaming passengers, neither. I suppose they would spoil the ambience, I said, desperate to change the topic to something less depressing. I rummaged through my bag. Oh, hey Raymond, take a look at this cool thing Arnold gave me. Is that a real snake in there? Raymond asked pensively. I think so, Arnold said. I found it in Vietnam, or rather, it found me. Now that you mention it, I said. You never told me the story behind the Cobra beer. You never asked? Arnold smiled. Would you tell us about the bottle, Arnold? Raymond asked. If it's alright with you. I suspected that he wanted to know if he could drink it, how much alcohol it contained more than anything else. Go on, Arnold. Go on, Arnold, I said. I need to know. Okay, Arnold said, taking a restrained sip of his pint. Before I start, I'll have to warn you. It's a bit of an unbelievable story. That's fine, I said. You believe most of the crap I tell you. Fair point, Arnold said, but I still don't believe that you cried at the end of Die Hard. Listen, I said, pointing sternly. Those were tears of joy. When Al shot Alan Rickman at the end of the film, not only did he save John McClane, he also saved himself. Redemption, my friend. I was trying my hardest not to cry as I said this. It really was a beautiful scene. Arnold and Raymond exchanged curious glances, as if I were the crazy one. Just a pause here. I know it's not Alan Rickman at the end of the film. My character is drunk. It's deliberate. He mentions that later. Mac and I were planning on staying with two brothers who owned a chicken farm, Arnold said. Raymond raised his hand. Mac? Ginger-haired, picture the protagonist of an American novel, I said. That's Mac. Ginger-haired, bearded, slightly overweight chap? Raymond deducted. Arnold paused and took a long sip of his ill-gotten pint. I don't think I'll ever read an American novel the same way again. Good! I said flippantly. One evening, Arnold said, ignoring my silliness, we realized that this was no ordinary farm. The chickens were being raised to cockfight. Is that legal in Vietnam? Raymond asked. Arnold shrugged. Obviously, we were disturbed by this, but we were in the middle of nowhere. A lone farmhouse in a near infinite coffee field. Arnold paused to administer a hefty dose of Erdanen. Mac's bike was low on fuel, so we had no choice but to help around the farm to earn our petrol and shelter for the night. So you were trapped, I said, like the characters in the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon? Arnold nodded. Mac and I were frightened by what we saw. It was brutal and unethical as heck. The birds would attack each other relentlessly, even when they weren't due to fight. He folded his arms and stared out into the distance, looking far beyond Raymond and myself. We were surprised by how kind the brothers were, how kind they were to humans at least. There was plenty of rice wine to go around, the beds were comfortable. They laughed at Mac's ennui as he sat in a plastic toy car for toddlers. My son used to have one of those Fisher-Price ones, Raymond mused, the red and yellow ones. That was the highlight of the day, Arnold revealed, the slightest hint of a smile for a brief moment. Everything else I'd seen that day, aiding animal cruelty under the blazing sun, it wasn't right. I couldn't sleep, so I went for a walk through the coffee fields to distract myself. I must have wandered aimlessly for at least 2 hours through the humid emerald sea of coffee leaves. I glanced at Raymond, who looked like he was somewhere a million miles from his physical location. I was certain that he had his fair share of heavy stories too, the kind that were probably best not explored. Oops, I've lost my page. Give me a second for that to load up. I'm on page 10 there. Oops. I'm having a good time reading this. I hope you're enjoying it too, dear listener, dear viewer. Okay. I'm pretty tired. By the time I lost, there was a party going on at night in one of the houses down the road from me, and it was so loud. Back to the story though. Oh, thanks, Amy. Amy says it's great. I'm nearly at the end of the second chapter, and the third chapter needs a lot of editing. But I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I love reading it out. So practice reading it before in the car. That was the highlight of the day. Arnold revealed the slightest hint of a smile for a brief moment. Everything else I'd seen that day, aiding animal cruelty under the blazing sun, it wasn't right. I couldn't sleep, so I went for a walk through the coffee fields to distract myself. I must have wandered aimlessly for at least 2 hours through the humid emerald sea of coffee leaves. I glanced at Raymond, who looked like he was somewhere a million miles from his physical location. I was certain he had his fair share of heavy stories too, the kind that were probably best not explored. By the time I lost sight of the farm, I spotted a sharply dressed Vietnamese gentleman in a suit. We spoke for some time, discussing coding, board games, indie music, and good coffee. Eventually, the man gave me a bottle of snake venom liqueur. Wow, they have hipsters in Vietnam too, I said. I'm sure that this is the finest artisanal snake venom, the Vietnamese equivalent of craft beer. He told me that I wasn't to open the bottle, that it would find a way to open itself. I figured it would make a good gift. After he gave me the Cobra beer, we parted ways and I returned to the farm. In the early hours of the morning, having acquired petrol, Mac and I made our escape. Raymond stared at the bottle in the way a time traveller from the 18th century would stare at a Japanese vending machine, with fear and admiration. I wonder if it has some kind of mystical power or something, Raymond said. The only thing I can think of is the ability to make the drinker violently sick on the floor of a cab shelter, Arnold said, looking me dead in the eye. I don't want to be responsible for that this time. I stood up from my chair and playfully pushed Arnold. He tilted his head and slumped to the side of the chair, laughing. And that's the end of chapter 2. Chapter 3 will be edited soon, and when I do edit, I will read it on the stream one day. But for now, nah, give me time. I was taking the editing process a bit too seriously, and thinking that because I don't have a job, I should spend all my time focusing on that, and that wasn't healthy. So I'm taking some time apart from it, and I'm going to do a bit more writing when I feel like it. So I'm gonna end the stream with a bit more getting over it, just to see how well I can do it this time. I'm obsessed with this game. This isn't the game you want to be obsessed with. I also would love to stream this game, Heaven Will Be Mine. It's a really cool visual novel about like giant robot pilots. It's really cool. Let's see. Just getting over it. I can't get over this game. It's too good. I love it. I love it. This is maybe the most things I've done in a stream. 3 things in one stream. I'll play this for a bit. There we go. Where are we? We're back at this point again. I forgot you can't click in this game. Clicking does nothing. Let's see. I've forgotten how to play it now. He's back. I'm going to play this game every day of my life until I can complete it. Maybe if I feel like it. I really want to play Dragon Quest XI tomorrow. Although I'm really, once it comes out on Switch, I'm looking forward to replaying it with English voice actors. I love playing it with no voice actors in Japanese, though. It's perfect. Because I can imagine the voices and read them out loud. I like the Dragon Quest games because they are boring, relaxing games. I think I like boring games. Or games that are minimalist. That's great to hear. Oh, that doesn't do anything. After I play this, I'm going to watch some more of Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, and I'm probably going to watch at least 5 episodes of it in a row. Because it's that kind of TV show. That kind of Netflix. I watched the first season all in one day. My skill at this game is just gone. I was doing so well, I was like 9% proficient. It doesn't matter, let's play. Okay. Let's get up there. I've done it. Okay, I've gone over the initial thing. Oh, I got over that house really quickly today. I'm just getting over it so quickly in this game. All of the things. Whoa. Whoa. I think I've got some kind of mojo in this game. I at least understand the core concept now. Oh. One day I would love to be a complete wizard at this game, but it'll take time. I'm not a complete wizard of many things. It takes time to become a wizard at anything. A wizard. Oh. I'm doing a lot better at this game today. I love it. Although I love it when I'm doing badly at this game too. It's that kind of game. There's just something about it. You don't want to stop playing. It's like how that guy in the Narnia book was obsessed with eating Shepherd's Delight. Body weed. Sounds like a good body to have. No comment. Whoa. I think Buddy Weed sounds like a great name for a character in a novel. It's a shame it's a real person's name. I might use it in a novel anyway. It's fine. Or maybe Chum Weed or like Brother Weed. Was Buddy? I guess Buddy was a name. Hey Buddy. Was Buddy a name first or a term of endearment? First. It's the questions you ask yourself. Is that Tycho playing? Yes. More likely for this video to be struck for copyright now as Tycho's popular. Maybe even mentioning copyright flags it up. Maybe. My arm is killing me today. I don't know why. The only physical... apart from climbing a tree and falling off the tree. That was quite physically demanding. I did water the plants today as well. Because my parents wanted me to water the plants. And water the plants I shall. My other job is to paint the greenhouse, which I'm loving. Fun employment at its finest. Nope. Keep going. I'm not really feeling this game today. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not really... I think I might call it a night soon. Just trying to get away from the computer recently because I spend a bit too much time on it. Today I've been good and have only used the computer for streaming or practicing for streaming. Like if I use it for practical reasons, like for my novel or for streaming, it's great. But otherwise, I find I just use it aimlessly or like aimlessly check social media, and it's not great. I mean, it's fun to explore YouTube, but I much prefer exploring music for vaporwave music when I'm in bed or lying down. Whoa. Okay, I think I'm playing this too fast today. I've had fun streaming tonight, but I think I'm going to call it a night. I've kind of tired myself out reading my novel, to be honest. As much as I loved it, and it was good fun. But hey everyone, thank you for coming down and watching the stream today. We've had a few people, had a few quiet people in the watching. I don't mind, but you guys, you're free to tell me something. Come on. And thank you, Amy, for your excellent moderating and for keeping me company on the chat as well. It's good. I like it when people post in the chat. And respect to John as well for coming down while at work. He's not there at the moment, but he has been here, so that's nice. So yeah, thank you everyone. I hope you have a good evening, And I hope you've enjoyed today's stream as much as I've enjoyed streaming the stream, because I like streaming streams. Bye everyone. Have a good evening. Anytime, Amy says. Yes, Amy. Thank you. You are the best moderator of all time. And so is John. Good job. Thank you for the moderation today. You've been doing it in moderation. I've been doing it a lot. Thanks everyone. Bye. Have a no limits day to all.